This video is going to tell you exactly how to get a girl's number on a cold approach. It's going to be sweet and simple. You need to know this if you want to improve your dating life. For me and myself, I know that dating apps were not working for me. So what I had to do was learn how to walk up to a chick and get her number. Now, this was the scariest thing that I have ever done personally. And I believe I've done a lot of scary things. Like, I've done a lot of public speaking, I've done a lot of door-to-door sales. I've done direct sales, like high pressure environments, sort of scary things like that. A lot of people would consider public speaking scarier than death. So what I found was walking up to a girl and getting her number was scarier than that for me. And I put it off for about 8 years. But eventually I figured out sort of a framework to accomplish this simple goal of getting an attractive girl's number. I've done it thousands of times, to be honest. And for proof, you can check out the rest of my page. But let's get into like how I do it. So how do I structure a cold approach? Let's see. Number one, you need to overcome your fear of approaching. So this is like step one. And this is something that took me 8 years to figure out. Like I learned those, like, I was like, oh, okay, you can walk up to girls and get numbers from them. I learned that when I was about 17, I think. And then I did my first cold approach when I was almost 25, when I was 24. So that's like almost 8 years of seeing attractive women walk around, but not knowing what to do or not knowing how to overcome like that fear of, is she gonna reject me, or what's gonna happen if I walk up and put myself out there? Are people gonna look at me? So here's kind of what I came up with. And there's one method that I use and that I actually teach people to do. I get paid to tell people to do this. Is what I say is, if you're on your own, what you want to do is send your friend money. So you want to send your friend like an amount of money that you're scared to lose. If like you have a lot of money and you're not scared of losing $100, then send them $1,000 or whatever. So send them an amount of money that you are not afraid of losing. So what I used to do is I send my friend $100, and I would be, and at that point I was terrified of losing $100. I still would not like to lose $100, but I couldn't lose $100 then. So what I did is I sent him $100, and I was like, if you don't get a video of me talking to a girl and telling her she's cute in the next hour, then you get to keep the money. And basically at that point I put a gun to my head and I was like, I'm either going to lose $100 or I'm going to go and tell a girl she's cute. And I found that works. I found I would go and tell a girl she's cute. As long as I sent the money, I set up those systems that like I was going to be punished essentially if I didn't do it. And I was going to be punished in a real way. As long as I locked that in and I did that and I set up that system, I found that I would do it almost 100% of the time. And I lost the money like one time, and I did that literally every day for months, like 3 or 4 months straight. So that's the first way that you get over the initial fear of approaching. Now, a simple framework for after you're in there, after you're like, hey, I thought you were kind of cute, I had to come talk to you. A simple framework for the middle game is what I like to call find out and frame. And essentially it's just like asking boring questions. So you might have heard people say don't be boring to girls. I think boring is absolutely fine, and I think it's good to be boring because it's so much better than not knowing what to do. So be boring. Go up and say, hey, thought you were kind of cute, I had to come at you. That was my first line ever. I said that was my first approach. Opening ever was, hey, I thought you were cute, I wanted to come say hi. And of course a lot of people will use that because it works so well and it's such a beginner line, but it's effective. So hey, I thought you're kind of cute, I had to come meet you. And then what you want to do is, she's like, oh, thank you. And then what you want to do is like boring, right? So where are you from? Do you live around here? Are you going to school here? What do you work over there, etc., etc. So boring questions like that. Are you shopping? Is kind of funny. So stuff like that. She's like, yeah, I'm shopping. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm doing XYZ thing. Oh, okay, cool, I go to school here. Oh, okay, XYZ, whatever. You guys have social experience, so just use like this base level of experience to just have a boring small talk conversation. It's totally fine. And then at the end, once you've done this for a little bit and you're like, oh, and then it kind of like falls off the energy potentially a little bit. You're like, okay, cool, I gotta run. You seem kind of interesting. How do you feel about a coffee sometime? And that's your close. What I use a lot is, I gotta run. You don't seem bad. How do you feel about a drink sometime with a cute boy? So that's my close. I do a lot of the time. But yeah, that's the simple framework for open, have a boring conversation, and then close. And that close structure, the way that I like the formula for that close structure is qualify her. So qualify means, why do you actually like her beyond physical characteristics? Um, so you don't want to be like, you're actually hot. What's your number? You want to be like, you're actually kind of smart, because then it's more congruent with being a high value, basically. So like, high value guys are not going to go and be like, every hot girl, they're just like, what's your number? What's your number? They're going to be assessing for more than just physical appearance, like finding out if she's actually smart, finding out if she's cool, funny, finding out if she can actually add value, or be of like some use. See if she's not going to be like a burden, essentially. So yeah, that's the way you want to do it. So qualify. So you actually seem interesting. You seem kind of smart. Something like that. Um, so that's called a fake qualifier as well. So it's forcing her to qualify. More on this later, but just force her to qualify, and then what you want to do is suggest plans. Suggest plans for the future. How do you feel about a drink? How do you feel about a coffee? Do you like smoothies? How do you feel about XYZ activity? Do you like to hike? Um, so suggest plans, and then close. Cool. What's your number? That's how you get a girl's number. If I do one-on-one consulting, and I also sell some ebooks, so you can click the link below to check out that stuff. Thank you for watching.